It's of course like a dose of Epsom salts at the moment. Minister, the question here, and this is an issue I've taken up with you before, it's the 18.5 hours cap on someone in receipt of the carer's allowance. Now, I've given examples in the past of carers where the person they're caring for, a child, is in education. They could work for more than 18.5 hours a week, and the department should allow flexibility in those limited number of cases for such circumstances. Minister.
Okay, thank you, Deputy, for raising this issue as well. The Government acknowledges the valuable role that family carers play and is fully committed to supporting carers in that role. The commitment is recognised in both the Programme for Government and the National Carers Strategy. My department provides a comprehensive package of carers' income supports, including carers' allowance, carers' benefit, domiciliary care allowance and the carers' support grant. Combined spending on these payments to carers in 2024 is expected to exceed €1.7 billion. The carers' allowance is a means-tested social assistance income support paid to those carers who are caring for certain people who require full-time care and attention. This means test is used to target the support at those most in need. There are currently 97,407 people in receipt of this payment. The person being cared for must be so incapacitated as to require full-time care and attention and be likely to require this full-time care and attention for at least 12 months. The time spent providing care must not be less than 35 hours per week. However, the carer payments provided do not provide flexibility in terms of allowing carers to engage in training, education or work up to 18.5 hours per week. In effect, a carer can engage in these activities for half of a full-time working week, and during this time adequate provision must be made for the care of the relevant person. Both the full-time care and attention requirement and the 18.5-hour limitation are contained in the respective legislative provisions of the carers allowance, carers benefit and the carer support grant schemes. I consider the limit of 18.5 hours to represent a reasonable balance between meeting the care recipients' requirement for full-time care and the carers' need to maintain contact with the workforce. Any proposal for further changes to this condition would need to maintain this balance and would have to be considered in a policy and budgetary context.
Thank you, Minister. Minister, I accept absolutely everything that you have said, and I am talking about a very small cohort of people here. What I'm talking about is, and it is mothers of children with profound disabilities or intellectual disabilities or mental health issues that are in either a training centre or in full-time education. They are out of the home for more than 18.5 hours a week because they're gone to school or they're gone to the training centre. So there is no issue in relation to care. There's no issue in relation to the need for care. But if that person is able to avail of education or additional employment, and there's already a means test cap on that, so they can only do up to the means test threshold anyway. But why could they not work 19 hours in such circumstances rather than sitting at home looking at the four walls if they're willing to go out?
Well, I suppose over the years it has been increased, and the most recent increase was up to from 15. It was started at 10, then it went to 15, and now it's gone to 18.5 hours. But I suppose we need to strike a balance here because you do need to provide full-time care and attention. And when you add that 18.5 hours to the 35 hours that you have to provide care for, you're moving into a good few hours at this stage. So look at, there's a lot of things I'd like to do in this budget for carers, and I'm going to have to prioritise, and that is the reality of the budget process. Increasing the income disregards is something that you raised with me on many occasions, and well, I did increase them in the last budget, and sure, look, I'm always looking at everything. But anyway, I have taken a number of steps in recent budgets. In November, a 400 lump sum was paid to people receiving the carer support grant. A Christmas bonus double payment was paid to people in receipt of carers allowance and carers benefit. I've increased the domiciliary care allowance in successive budgets, and it's at now €340 per month. And it's important to say that domiciliary care allowance, it's not means tested now; it goes to everybody that's caring. Thank you,
Minister. What I'm looking for here is a small bit of discretion with the social welfare officers, rather than having the 18.5 hours set in stone. We're probably talking about, in total, maybe 15 or 20 people across the state that would avail of this, where their son or daughter is in full-time education or in full-time training. They're picked up in the morning, they're dropped home in the evening, and for the rest of the week, that parent is providing full-time care. And there is none of us here that can question the level of care, and I know that's not what you're doing, Minister. But what I'm saying is that what we're looking for here is a small bit of flexibility for these 15 or 20 cases around the country, if they want to do education, for their own mental health, to get them out of the home. It benefits everyone, and they're able to provide more effective care when their son or daughter then comes back from education or training.
Yeah, thank you. Well, as I said earlier, Deputy, you have to be caring for 35 hours to qualify. Yeah, you're allowed to work for 18.5 hours, so that brings you up to 53.5 hours per week. And that's a fair old week's work, in fairness, when you do both. Look, you make a point here, and I don't disagree with you. So what I will do is, I don't know, sometimes discretion can be great, and then sometimes it can land you into a lot of bother, depending who's interpreting the discretion. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll ask my officials to look at it, and I never, I am always welcome ideas that make things better for people. But I will look at it, but I'll not make any promises as yet. Thank you.